Anime at the moment is better than it's ever been before. In terms of pure volume of high quality anime coming out right now, it's not even comparable to any other period of time. The state of anime is great. Every season there will be at least a few shows that are absolute must-watches, and generally like another 8 that are pretty good too, but you just don't have time to watch them because of all the other good shit that's coming out. You can't really complain about the state of anime right now. However, there is something I've noticed that is completely lacking in most modern shows. As I've caught up with more and more older anime from before around 2010-ish, I've started to notice something that exists in the anime from those years that has become almost completely absent from modern anime. Old anime was fucking weird. And I don't mean weird like poorly written stories or random shit happening. We still get plenty of that these days. By weird, I mean abstract, avant-garde, the kind of thing that should be premiering in the Louvre and analysed by a bunch of pretentious assholes drinking $800 wine that tastes like a $15 goon sack. Instead, these strange stories have been relegated to the depths of malware-infested piracy sites to be streamed at 480p on some busted-up MacBook. Even though I didn't really live through the era, I really do miss anime like Serial Experiments Lain, Technolize, Ergo Proxy, Perfect Blue, anime that aren't afraid to be out there. They'll have scenes that seem out of place and don't make any sense until like 6 episodes later. When the characters speak, it's like all of the dialogue is being machine translated through 8 different languages before coming back to you in an incomprehensible mess. There will be full 60-second shots of a candle just flickering. Then a character will silently scream while the image twists and blurs. This kind of thing just doesn't exist in modern anime. This kind of heavy emphasis on symbolism and willingness to let the audience interpret abstract imagery and conversation, rather than holding their hand through all of the lore so that nobody's confused. It just doesn't happen anymore. I obviously don't think that every anime needs this kind of storytelling, and I don't want to see weird abstract shit just for the sake of it. Attack on Titan would not have been improved by adding a bunch of slow panning shots of fucking lanterns turning off and on. But in the same sense, I don't think Technolize would have been improved if they had spent 10 minutes giving an exposition dump on the structure of Lucas. Or if Serial Experiments Lain had really hammered home the point of, what if internet but too much? The lore and background of these anime really are secondary to the feeling that they evoke. That's why they can not only get away with having a bunch of dialogue that isn't fully understood, but they're actually improved by that abstract structure, as it opens up the story to further interpretation. As great as anime has been for the last few years, I really wish there could be a few shows every year that have this form of storytelling. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that every anime from 2002 was as steeped in symbolism as Haibane Renmei. These kind of shows were still very much in the minority. But in the last decade or so, it's gone from being in the minority to being basically extinct. At least from the things I've seen. There are only like 2 modern-ish anime I can think of that evoke the same kind of vibe as these older shows. Wonder Egg Priority and Sunny Boy. Wonder Egg Priority, sadly, seems to have been forgotten over the years, no doubt due to its poor ending. But Wonder Egg really was such a refreshing anime to watch at the time. It was the kind of show where characters would seemingly do and say random things, because you didn't understand their motivations yet. The story was engaging, despite the fact that you didn't really know how or why these things were happening. It really didn't hold your hand through anything, allowing you to interpret the emotion and feelings through the imagery and symbolism of the anime. Ironically, the reason the ending was so bad was that near the end, they did try to explain the story a bit better, and added a whole bunch of exposition dumps and clarifications to the universe that really felt like an afterthought. But despite the shitty ending, I really think it's a shame that Wonder Egg is doomed to be forgotten, because those first 10 episodes or so were true masterpiece material, and in my opinion stand alongside older abstract anime like Serial Experiments Lain. Unlike Wonder Egg, it feels like Sunny Boy is still remembered fondly by a lot of people. Sunny Boy was not an insanely popular anime, but I would imagine most of the people that watched it would be able to get something out of it. I don't know if it can be considered as avant-garde as an anime like Paranoia Agent, but it still gave me a very strong vibe of some of those older anime. It's not so much that the story and characters are strange, it's the world they live in that's strange. So this causes the same confusion and interpretation of things for not only the viewer, but the characters too. I don't really want to get too deep into a Sunny Boy analysis, because it really is a spectacular story that should just be experienced as it is. Plus, I'm sure there's a lot of other videos out there analysing it much deeper than I ever could. So I've been talking about the fact that they don't make a lot of experimental, abstract anime anymore. But why? Why don't they do it anymore? Evangelion is one of the most popular and recognizable anime of all time, and that had a plot that believably could have been written during a fucking ketamine overdose, and an ending so abstract that they had to later make a movie to explain it properly. Then a lot of people still didn't get it. So if a show as popular as Evangelion can have this kind of storytelling, why can't newer anime do it? The way I see it, anime is a victim of its own success. There is an insane amount of quality anime every season. So much that there really isn't time to watch every good show that comes out. This isn't like the mid-2000s where you could reasonably watch basically everything that comes out in here. There's just too much now. Not every anime can be Evangelion. And when you're competing against so many other shows, can you really afford to make a slow burn anime that takes 5 episodes just to understand what the fuck is going on? Can you really blame a studio for not wanting to take a risk on something that could be seen as boring or weird or whatever, when the audience could easily just drop it to instead watch one of the 20 or so decent isekai airing that season? Some recent anime I've watched, like Metallic Rouge or Majo to Yaju, really feel like they should have had abstract and experimental stories, but both of them had massive exposition dumps all throughout to make sure the audience was never confused about what was happening, and in my opinion, their stories suffered because of this. It just feels like slower paced anime is becoming less relevant in general. And not because I think everybody's attention span has been fried from TikTok or anything, but because people don't really have time to give an anime half a season to see if it will maybe be good, when there's other anime out there that will, in the first episode, tell you exactly what they're about and whether you'll like them. There is another interesting reason I can think of that might explain why these kind of anime don't get made anymore. The anime I've mentioned in this video, almost all of them are anime originals. Evangelion, Lane, Ergo Proxy, Sunny Boy, Wonder Egg, and so on. None of these are manga adaptations. They were all made to be anime. I'm not really certain why it worked out like that. I guess drawing 15 pages of a bonfire raging for a manga just wouldn't be as artistic and symbolic as it would be for an anime, where you can add a nice soundtrack or whatever. Regardless, my point is that anime originals in general are much riskier to produce than manga adaptations, that usually come with their own inbuilt popularity. So if a studio is taking a risk on making an anime original, I guess they probably don't want to take further risk by making it an avant-garde mess that a lot of people will find boring. Honestly, I'm amazed Wonder Egg and Sunny Boy even got greenlit. So, what's next for this style of experimental anime? Will it ever again be made as frequently as it was at the turn of the millennium? Or is it doomed to be a forgotten relic of a weirder time? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not the CEO of anime. I don't know what studios will be producing in the future, and I don't know what audiences will be gravitating towards. Maybe there just isn't a market for this kind of anime anymore. Who knows? I just wanted to share my thoughts on a concept that I really miss, and I wish was still being made today. If I missed any modern shows that fit this vibe I'm talking about, feel free to let me know what a fake anime fan I am. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more weeb shit.